sure it's good. Hit one side, hit one little corner, spray it, and then I'll maybe rotate it. Hit the top with the accelerator. Everything still looks straight, then hit the two sides. Push it on there nice and tight so there's no gaps. You probably go ahead and note just a 1.5 degrees of right thrust in there. Now we're going to take our balsa supports. It's got a right and a left marked on there, an R and a left. And we'll go ahead and put this on the right hand side. And it lines up with it gives you the right thrust, the correct thrust in it. And it lines up good. Sometimes they may need a touch of sanding, but most of the time they're perfect. And we're going to have 3 contact sides. We're going to have this side, the front, and this bottom side. No glue here. So we'll hold it from there. And we'll go ahead and put glue on these 3 corners. 1, 2, and 3. And then set it right in there. Make sure it's pushed up tight up against that firewall. And I'll even lay in a little bit of extra glue. Good bead in here. Nice and stout. And then holding it just at this angle, go ahead and spray it with the accelerator. Good. Now we'll do the left side. Everything looks good. I don't need to touch it up. Now maybe just a touch on this inside here. That's better. Again, glue on the 3 sides. Get it right in there. A little bit of glue here on all 3. Fill in all the gaps if there are any. And go ahead and spray it. And that's what that looks like when it's done. Nice and flush at the bottom. Good to go. So now we can slide the wing in. We'll take the side without the aileron. And we're going to slide it through the slot. Before we do that, we're going to make sure no glue seeped through and created a little hard spot or a bubble of glue that could gouge the top of the wing as you slide it in. That's why we avoid putting glue in that area for now. Sometimes it'll drip through and you get a blob of glue right there and you slide the wing in and it puts a big gouge in there. So we'll look for them. If we have any, we'll just take some sandpaper and sand it out of there, cut it out with a knife. It's all hidden there anyway. They're covered by the wing when it goes back together. When we start sliding the wing out here, we've got to be really, really careful not to touch the back of the aileron here with the back of the slot. It'll gouge this sharp foam here that I got beveled. So always make sure that the leading edge of the wing is up against the front of the slot. Just be really careful, move it slow. And the closer you get to the center of the wing, the closer that gap becomes. So watch it real careful. As I slide it in there, you see how close we are already to touching. I have to go very slowly at this last stages here, not to gouge that bevel. And we'll line up the slot, little tabs and slots, line up this and center it. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull the wing all the way forward in the slot. Line up the back tab, that little notch that's in the wing, we'll line that up with the center of the fuselage. Everything looks good and straight there. Now before we glue it, we're going to go ahead and tape the other aileron on. And we'll do it the same as I did before. I'll put half of the tape on the aileron and half hanging off. Again, without stretching the tape, you want to make sure you just lay it down on there and not pull it. It is elastic, and if you stretch it and pull it, it will warp the aileron as it relaxes. So just lay it down on there flat. Cut off the ends so you have nice finish ends. And the same as we did the other one, I'll give it a little flex up, and I'm lining up the print. And you don't want any gap in there at all. You want it butted right up against it. There it is. And again, carefully at first, a little bit of just light pressure, and then progressively push it harder and harder. And it'll be stuck on your glue. You might even hang it over the edge of the table and press it down a little harder. Now we'll go ahead and take the back side, and you want to be careful folding this aileron over because it's going to catch right here on the fuselage, and it could damage it just a little bit. So you don't want to fold it completely over upon itself yet. You might be able to slide this guy in there. Now you can do it a little bit better. You learn something every day. Okay, again, we'll put about 5 or 6 millimeters worth of tape on the wing, on the aileron here. Go ahead and cut it shy, about 1/8 of an inch shy of the end. And same as before, put your thumb right to the first 45-degree bevel. And just fold it over. Push it down with your other thumb. There's your hinge. Cut out the tape here. Again, this is only for the SF1 with the side force generators that you have those holes. And we'll recenter the wing back up again. Pull it forward in the slot. Go ahead and, I always like to set it, 10-15 feet in front of me, and go ahead and sight down it and look for it and make sure it looks square. Even though the tabs line up, I always like to sight it. Everything, when the tabs are lined up, it looks good to me. Aileron gap is the same in the back, so the two ailerons aren't going to hit the fuselage. The gap is the same here. Looks good. Once you're happy that it's square, go ahead and I put glue on all these corners. Just anywhere the fuselage meets the wing, you go ahead and put a bead of glue. On the leading edge and trailing edge of the wing, bottom of the fuselage. Make sure there's no gaps. Go ahead and squeeze it together. Sight down the fuselage, make sure it's straight. Again, before you flip it over and glue the top, make sure there's no bubbles of runny glue to ruin your day with a big blob of glue. Looks good. Now this area in between the wing slot area, we'll go ahead and glue that area now for the fuselage. This guy here, and one up here for the wing. Those two. Go ahead and keep it at an angle and spray it. Let it set up. Flip it over, and then do these two.